Hi guys, in this video I will be discussing about hills and valley problem, and in one of my client interview at Morgan Stanley also this question was asked. So let's understand what is this hills and valley problem and let's dive deep into the solution and problem statement. So let's take one input example of an array. So let's understand this input array. So this array is given to us. So now we have to find out like how many hills and valleys are present. So there can be like n variations of these kind of problems. So they may tell you like how many hills are there, how many valleys are there, count number of hills and valleys. So instead of numbers there can be some characters. Okay, so there can be a string and within that there will be characters, and from there you have to find out hills and valleys. So there can be n variations. So this is one pattern. If you understand one pattern, other type of questions you can able to understand it, like how we can proceed ahead. So let's understand this problem and how we can solve it. So first of all, if you see, we have to understand first the edge cases. Is there any edge case? So to understand hills and valley, so what is the main thing that we have to understand? How hills and valley looks like. So hills and valley, if we draw it a diagram, what is a hill? Hill is something which is which looks something like this. Like this is a top part, the before top part will be at the downside, and after the top portion of the hill there will be again a downside. Okay, so downside is there at the left side of the topmost part and the right side of the topmost part. So if that is the scenario, then that will be the hill. Okay, and then what is valley? Valley is the opposite of hill. Okay, so here if you observe the below trench, what is being created over here? If you see, it is going very steep, and this point, which is you can see over here, this point, the left side of this point will be, left and right side will be higher than this trench point. Okay, so this is we have to understand. So if we consider these 2 points as A and B, if we consider these 2 points as A and B, then what is it? The point A, this is a valley. For valley, what is the scenario? What is the condition? The condition for any three numbers to become a valley is its the left side and its right side should be higher, should be more than the middle number. Okay, so if I consider it as 5 and 5, or any bigger number, let's suppose 7. Okay, and let's suppose this one needs to be smaller than both. Okay, so this A should be lesser than 5 as well as 7. So we can consider it as 3. Let's suppose I'm taking it as 3. Okay, so if I consider this as 3, then 3 is lesser than both 5 as well as 7. Then it will become a valley. Then for hill, what is the scenario? Just the opposite. Okay, so if I consider it any number, let's suppose I'm considering it as 3 and this one I'm considering as 2. Okay, then what this number will be? How can I make sure this will be the hill? For making it as a hill, this number B, point B, should be greater than 3 and 2. So it will, if it is, let's suppose 5. So now this will become a hill. Okay, so what is these two numbers? Like 5, 3, 7. So 5, 3, 7 will become a valley, and 3, 5, 2 over here, 3, 5, 2, it will become a hill. So this is the scenario in which we can understand like which one is a valley, which one is a hill. The same thing we have to see it in an array. So here if it is an array, we have to see the first 3 elements. So first of all, we have to take the edge cases, like the number of elements should be at least 3. If the number of elements are less than 3, then we can't calculate the count of any hill, because there is no formation of hill or valley. For formation of anything like hill or valley, there should be minimum 3 pointers. Okay, 3 numbers are required at least to find out whether there is a hill or there is a valley. If it is less than 3 elements, then we can't find out if it is a hill or valley. Then second thing is, if there is any duplicate elements. So let's suppose here 5, 6, 7. So if let's suppose it would have been 5, 5, 5, then what can we calculate it as a hill or valley? No, right? So if it is 5, again it's a 5, again it's a 5. So all will come in a straight line. Okay, all will come in a straight line. So if it is a straight line, it's a plane area where we are just walking or running. That is a plane surface. Okay, so that cannot be a hill or a valley. So these two edge cases needs to be considered over here. Like it should have minimum 3 numbers to find out whether it's a hill or valley. And second thing is there should not be any duplicates. Okay, so if there are any duplicates, it will be a plain area. Okay, so now if these two conditions are satisfied, then we can see that whether it's actually a hill or valley. So what we can do over here, we can have one element, like one loop. I will start loop from this element because this one is previous and this one is next. So there is something called as a pointers. So there will be 3 pointers. One is the previous pointer. 5 will be what? 5 will be my previous pointer. 6 will be my current pointer, and 7 will be my next pointer. So this is a thing, right? 5, 3, 7. Same thing we have to implement over here. 5, 6, 7. Okay. So if I see over here 5. So can we draw a diagram for this 5, 6, 7? 5, let's suppose 5 is somewhere here, 6 is somewhere here, 7 is somewhere here. So 5, 6, 7, it is forming a straight line. Okay, so if it is not even a straight line, then it's not following anything like a hill or a valley. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, the middle number should be greater than its previous as well as next, or smaller than its previous as well as next. But 6 is greater than 5 but not greater than 7. 6 is lesser than 7 but not lesser than 5. So none of the condition is matching. So these 3 numbers are neither hill nor valley. I hope you are getting the clarity on this. So now we will go to next set of numbers. Okay, so now 5, 6, 7 I've understood. Now the pointer will go to next element. Okay, so now previous we have to assign it to current value of I. Where is I is pointing to? I is pointing to 6. Okay, so now previous will point to 6 now, because previous was pointing to this. So when I moves ahead, when I is moving ahead, then at that point of time previous will also be moving ahead. So this is the thing that we have to keep in mind. Okay, so now next set of 3 elements will be what? Next set of 3 elements will be 6, 7 and 6. So let's draw a diagram of 6, 7, 6 and understand whether it's forming any hill or valley or not. Where is 6? 6 is somewhere here, then 7 is somewhere here, then 6 is somewhere here. Okay, so now you can see 6, 7, 6. So now what it's forming? It is forming a hill. Okay, so now why it is forming a hill? Because the middle number is greater than both its left as well as its right. So 6, 7, 6 is forming a hill. So now I have found out one hill. I have found it out. Okay, so now there will be a counter. I will keep track of how many hills and valleys are there with one variable, that is a count variable, or you can take any variable of your choice. So my counter will increase by 1 from 0. Now count is 1 now. So now I will again move to next. Okay, so now previous will again point to 7 now. So now we have to move ahead with next set of 3 elements. What is next set of 3 elements? So next set of 3 elements will be this 7, 6, 5. So if I consider 7, 6, 5, then will it be a hill or a valley? So let's see. 7 is somewhere here. Okay, 6 is somewhere here and 5 is somewhere here. So is it forming anything? No. So it is neither a hill nor a valley. Let's go with next set. 6, 5 and 6. Is it forming anything? Yes, it will be forming. Let me show you. So if you can see, 6 is somewhere here, 5 is somewhere here, then 6 is somewhere here. What it is forming over here? It is forming a valley over here. So my counter will increase again. Okay, so now I have found out that there are 2 hills and valley combined. One hill and this one I found it as a valley. So this one I found it as a hill and this one I found it as a valley. Then I will go to next set of 3 elements. Next is 5, 6, 5. Will it be forming any hill or valley? Yes. How? 5, then 6 and then 5. So here it is forming hill. Okay, so there are 2 hill and 1 valley. So total count of hills and valleys are 3. I hope you got the clarity. So this is the algorithm which you can solve it in O of n time complexity. Okay, and you are not making use of any other array, so space complexity is also O of 1. Okay, so this is the approach which you can move ahead with to solve this hills and valley based problem. Okay, so let me show you the code as well to let you know like how we can write this code. So the main thing is I wanted to tell you, like, first try it out by yourself. Okay, so you can pause this video over here, try it out by yourself and see whether you are able to implement with this algorithm or not. If you're not able to implement, if you can able to implement, it's well and good. I hope like 99% of them can able to implement by themselves. If by anyhow you got stuck at any place, or you are a beginner in this data structure and algorithm part, then you can see the algorithm, then you can see the solution, and you will get to know like how it is implemented code wise. Okay, so let me share you my IntelliJ IDE, and let me share you my code. I hope you can see my IDE. So this is IntelliJ IDE which I am using. So you may be using Eclipse also, you might be using Visual Studio Code also. You can use anything, but this one my hands are like I am very much comfortable working in IntelliJ IDE, so that's why I'm making use of it. So you also can make use of it. So here, if you see, I've written the code. Okay, so here I've passed the same array 5676565. Okay, so I've called this method. So it's highly recommended that you make use of a method and then call it from a main method. Don't directly write the entire logic in main method. Okay, so if you see over here, I've passed the array, and then I have first check that whether the array is present or not. The array should be present, it should not be null. Then the length of the array should be at least 3. Then if it is not the case, both of them, either of them, then we have to return 0. There are no hill and valley. If both the conditions are satisfied, then we have to start one loop. So count is 0 initially, length is the length of the array, then previous is the first index element. Then I'm starting for loop from I equal to 1 till the length minus 1. And why we are taking I equal to 1, I've already told you. Previous needs to be taken as the 0th index element. So that's why I am starting it from first index. If array at I equal to array at I plus 1, that means there is a duplicate. So if there are duplicates, we can't find it out whether it's a hill or a value. There should be the middle value should be greater or should be smaller than the left or right. So if it is duplicate either at left side or at right side, then we can't able to find it out whether it's a hill or a valley. So we have to simply continue it. If it is not duplicate, okay, then these conditions are important. Okay, so if array at I, the middle element, is greater than previous and it is greater than the next element, array at I plus 1, then we have to increase the counter. That means that is basically a hill. Okay, and if array at I is less than previous and if array at I is less than the next index, that means it is forming a valley, and we have to again increase the counter for that. And then don't forget at the end to point previous to the array at ith index. So basically I is keep on increasing, right? I is keeping on increasing. So we have to point previous to the current index of I, so that when I goes to next element, previous comparison will be easier. Okay, otherwise previous will not be able to compare properly. Previous is pointing to array at 0 and we are not setting previous to the current array at I, so it will not compare to the right previous. Okay, so that's why we should always remember to initialize previous with the current array index value. Okay, and then it will keep on running the loop, and after that whatever is the count, we have to return it. Okay, so if I run this code, the output will be 3. So let me run it. So here run hills and valley.main. Okay, so it will start running the code, and here you will see the output. Yeah, so here if you see, the output is number of hills and valleys 3. So this is this very simple question, but there can be certain variations of it. Okay, and these are frequently asked, and this has been recently asked to me in Morgan Stanley interview, client round basically. So that's why you should be aware of these kind of questions. So this is with respect to numbers. So let's suppose there are no numbers, there is one string value. Okay, and in string there are certain characters. So characters can be of type, let's suppose U D U U D D U U D D D. Let's suppose this type of characters are given to us, and U means up, D means down, like that you can imagine. Okay, so in this scenario you have to find it out how many hills or valleys are present. So this is a homework for you. If you are able to do it, type it in the comment box below like you have able to done it, and then I will be commented down below as congratulations, you are able to done. So if you are facing any kind of issue, just comment it down below like I need help, I will be helping you with that. Okay, if you are new to this video, please subscribe to this channel, like, share and comment on it so that I can keep on making this type of video and help you for your interviews. So this was it for this video. We'll see you in the next video with the next set of topics. Till then, it's Devjit Roy signing off. Bye bye. Hi everybody, I provide consultation calls or one-on-one session calls or one-on-one mock interview sessions for all of you so that you can ace ahead in your IT interviews, okay, and crack the big service based or big product based organization. So how can you do that? So I am taking mock interview sessions, so you can go ahead in the description box below and you can book a call with me and we'll be having a one-on-one conversation. If you want to clear your doubts, that also we can have 1 hour consultation call, or if you want to book for resume session, that also you can book. If you want to have a mock interview session, that also you can book. So those all kind of consultation I provide, and we are also having all the resources that has helped me to crack the Java interview. That has also I have attached in the description box below. If you want to go through all the interview series, then there is a 34 interview series playlist videos that I have attached in this comment box in the description box below. So go ahead and watch that as well. So it will help you boost your interview skills and you can clear your interview like ease. Okay, so see you inside.